Ladies and gentlemen, let me start with this. The world doesn't owe you understanding. It doesn't pause for your emotions. And if you're waiting for someone to hand you strength, you'll be waiting forever. So what do? You act, you rise. You walk into every room like you own the damn floor. And you do it like nothing affects you. Because here's the truth. Life will test you. People will question you. They'll misread your silence, doubt your decisions, and undermine your confidence. The power isn't in pretending you're perfect. The power is in mastering the art of being unshaken. Not because you don't feel, but because you choose not to be ruled by what you feel. Let them see your strength, not your struggle. Keep your storms private, let your wins be loud. And even when you're unsure inside, show up like you're unbreakable. Not because you're faking it, but because you're becoming it. This is not about arrogance, it's about resilience. You're not cold, you're composed. You're not detached, you're determined. Act as nothing affects you, not to hide your humanity, but to protect your energy. And that is your superpower. Thank you. Emotions are powerful, but power without control is chaos. Too often we let our feelings drive the wheel, forgetting that they were never meant to lead, only to inform. Anger, fear, insecurity, heartbreak. They're all part of being human. But the difference between someone who rises and someone who crumbles isn't about who feels more or less. It's about who chooses to respond with clarity, not impulse. Mastering your emotions doesn't mean ignoring them, it means owning them so they don't own you. You have to learn how to pause when you want to lash out, how to breathe when you want to break, and how to stand tall when everything inside you wants to collapse. That kind of self-control, that's not weakness. That's mastery. The world teaches us that vulnerability is beautiful, and it is. But vulnerability without emotional maturity is reckless. It's not about suppressing how you feel, it's about channeling it in a way that strengthens you, not weakens you. You can cry, scream, fall apart, but do it with purpose, not as a default reaction to life's pressure. In a world that is constantly pulling at your nerves, begging for a reaction, the real flex is staying grounded. When someone pushes your buttons, they expect a fire. What they don't expect is poise. And that right there, that's your edge. Emotional maturity is about knowing that not every battle is worth fighting and not every feeling deserves the microphone. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is sit with your feelings, learn from them, and respond later when your power is back in your hands. Mastering your emotions gives you control over your life. It allows you to lead with your mind while respecting your heart. When you stop reacting to every trigger, you become unshakable. Not because life stopped being hard, but because you started choosing how to handle it. That's the kind of emotional control that doesn't just get you through life, it builds the kind of life you're proud of. One decision, one reaction, one moment of control at a time. Walking into a room isn't just about showing up. It's about showing up like you belong, even if no one hands you that permission. You have to decide that your presence is enough. And once you make that decision, everything changes. People feel energy before they hear words. So when you carry yourself with certainty, shoulders back, chin up, eyes forward, you tell the world something before you even speak. I know who I am, and I'm not asking for approval. Confidence isn't loud, it's grounded. It's not about having all the answers. It's about knowing that even if you don't, you'll figure it out. You can be nervous, unsure, intimidated, but the difference lies in what you choose to do with that discomfort. Shrinking doesn't serve anyone. It doesn't make you more likable, and it definitely doesn't make you more powerful. The most magnetic people are the ones who take up space with quiet assurance, not arrogant. They don't need to prove anything, they just are. You don't have to wait for someone to validate your worth. The room doesn't define you. You define the room. That starts with your body language, your tone, your energy. Speak like your voice matters. Walk like your path is already cleared. Think about the version of you who has everything you want and start behaving like them now. That's not pretending. That's preparing. You don't have to fake confidence. You build it by showing up again and again, even when it's uncomfortable. Every space you walk into is an opportunity to shape perception, not just of who you are, but of what you represent, whether it's a boardroom, a stage, a meeting, or a casual gathering. Carry your worth like it's non-negotiable, not because you're better than anyone else, but because you've worked too hard to play small. People may underestimate you, overlook you, or even try to intimidate you. Let them. Your presence should say what your words never have to: I belong here. If you let every opinion define you, you spend your whole life shape-shifting for approval, and still, someone will have something to say. That's the truth. You could be brilliant, kind, accomplished, generous, and it still won't be enough for someone. So stop auditioning for acceptance. The goal isn't to be liked by everyone. It's to be at peace with yourself. If someone's opinion of you can derail your purpose, your power wasn't anchored in you to begin with. The world has always had something to say about how you look, how you speak, how you act, how much you dream. There's a strange comfort people find in pulling others down to size. But when you know who you are, that noise becomes just that, background static. You don't need to be rude or arrogant to be unbothered. You just need to know that your value isn't up for negotiation. Someone's small view of you doesn't have to become your mirror. Learn to filter feedback. Take what builds you and leave what breaks you. There's a difference between constructive feedback and casual criticism. One helps you grow, the other is usually rooted in someone else's insecurity, jealousy, or projection. Don't carry that weight. You weren't made to fit into everyone's frame of reference. If your confidence threatens them, that's not your burden to carry. Let them talk, let them guess, let them misunderstand you. Their opinion doesn't pay your bills, doesn't know your story, and definitely doesn't determine your destiny. When you walk with conviction, some people will call it ego. Let them. When you protect your peace, some will call it being difficult. Let them. Every strong person you admire was once doubted, dismissed, and underestimated. What set them apart is that they didn't shrink. So don't flinch when the world questions you. Be so deeply grounded in who you are that no storm can move you. The more they try to shake you, the more unshakable you become. Not every struggle needs a stage. In a world obsessed with sharing everything, there's something sacred about keeping your battles private. It's not about hiding, it's about protecting the parts of you that are still healing. When you go through pain, heartbreak, or rejection, the instinct may be to broadcast your hurt for validation. But real strength isn't found in how loudly you cry out. It's in how fiercely you fight when no one's watching. Your private resilience builds a kind of quiet power that no audience can give. Some of the most powerful transformations happen in silence. You might be breaking on the inside, but the decision to rise, to show up, to continue, that's something you do without applause. That's where character is born. People often see the success, the calm, the glow, but not the sleepless nights, the inner wars, the doubts you wrestled with alone. And that's okay, because the goal isn't to be seen suffering. The goal is to survive it, grow from it, and return stronger than anyone expected. There's something incredibly commanding about a person who doesn't parade their pain, who handles chaos with grace and turns their lowest moments into fuel. You don't need to share every setback to prove how hard you've worked. The results will speak for you. Let your victories be loud. You're allowed to be vulnerable, but be intentional about where and with whom. Protect your space. Not everyone deserves access to your rawest moments. Some people only want your weakness to make themselves feel stronger. Let them wonder how you stayed so composed. Let them guess how you kept it together. You've learned that your power multiplies when your process is private and your presence is undeniable. There's a kind of strength that doesn't roar. It doesn't lash out, doesn't panic, and doesn't demand attention. It simply endures. That's resilience, the art of standing firm when everything is trying to knock you down. In a reactive world, people are quick to anger, quick to speak, quick to act. But reaction is easy. What's rare and powerful is the ability to pause. The ability to not be triggered by everything thrown at you is what sets resilient people apart. When you stop reacting emotionally to temporary chaos, you begin to live from a place of long-term control. Resilience is built in the moments when you want to snap back but don't. When you want to prove a point but instead you choose peace. It doesn't mean you're passive, it means you're focused. You understand the cost of energy and you refuse to waste yours on things that don't serve your purpose. Every reaction you give away is a piece of your power. So when you choose not to respond to every insult, every challenge, or every test, you're not backing down, you're rising above. That's what strong people do. They respond with strategy, not emotion. Choosing resilience over reaction doesn't make you a pushover. It makes you a master of yourself. Anyone can fight fire with fire, but it takes real maturity to stay calm in the heat. Let others spiral. Let them argue, provoke, test your patience, your silence, your poise, your ability to stay grounded in your truth. That speaks louder than any comeback ever could. People remember how you carry yourself under pressure. So when things get loud around you, stay quiet within. That's not weakness, that's discipline. Every time you don't take the bait, you become stronger. Every moment you choose clarity over chaos, you grow more powerful. Life will throw challenges at you just to see if it can shake your center. Don't give it that satisfaction. Let your resilience be your rebellion. Let your calm be your statement. And remember, storms will pass, but how you hold yourself through them is what people will never forget. Your energy is your currency, more valuable than time, more fragile than people realize. Where you place it, who you give it to, what you allow to drain it, that determines everything. You don't need to attend every argument you're invited to. You don't need to respond to every critic, every rumor, every little disturbance that begs for your reaction. That's how you protect your energy, by realizing not everything deserves access to it. Your peace is expensive, and not everyone can afford it. You have to become intentional about your presence. Who do you feel lighter around? Who pulls you back into cycles you've outgrown? Who supports your growth and who thrives on your doubt? These aren't just emotional questions. They're strategic. Because when your energy is scattered, your focus is lost. And when your focus is gone, your power slips with it. You can't do big things with people who think small. Protecting your energy means setting boundaries without apology. Controlling your energy is not about isolation, it's about alignment. It's about surrounding yourself with people, places, and habits that elevate you instead of exhausting you. That means sometimes walking away from chaos, even if it's familiar. That means saying no when you've been taught to always say yes. It means stepping back without feeling guilty. Energy is not infinite, and pouring into the wrong spaces will leave you empty when it's time to rise. Protecting your energy is self-respect in action. Not everything deserves a response. Not every situation requires your involvement. Sometimes the most powerful move is to let things unfold without your interference. You don't always have to explain, prove, fix, or fight. Silence is strength, distance is clarity, and stillness is power. When you learn to control your energy, you start to live from a place of choice, not reaction. You stop chasing peace and start creating it within yourself and around you. So here's the truth. Life won't get easier, people won't get quieter, the world won't suddenly become fairer. But you can get stronger. You can become so rooted in your own power that nothing, no opinion, no setback, no storm. Let them wonder how you stay so calm. Let them question how you're still standing. Let them talk. Because while they're busy watching, you'll be building quietly, boldly. Act as nothing affects you, not because you feel nothing, but because you refuse to be controlled by anything that doesn't grow you. You are not here to react to the world. You are here to rise above it. So walk tall, stay grounded, and carry yourself like the force you are. Thank you.